Sorry, everybody. I actually moved to a cool spot, but then while I'm busy doing my Facebook Live, the sun comes along and just burns my poor little phone to a place where it will no longer do any kind of filming. So I am adamant. I am adamant because I am appealing, as I said from part one. I am appealing to all legal and any legal who is interested in perhaps talking further about the possibility, because we have so much evidence. It's not even funny. And because of this, and you know, I'm not talking about the money, but I know what I've learned in the past is that if you really want to send a very clear message, you got to tap the pockets of people. And then all of a sudden that message becomes very clear. Very, very clear. And so I am definitely, seriously at a place of there needs to be at least a class action lawsuit against the United States of America. And this will be colossal. This will be one of those things that would be so great and mind-blowing to the entire world. But if we do not do something, thank you, Kenneth. If we do not do something, and if we do not do it now, and I was listening to Dr. Boyce, and I love Dr. Boyce. Dr. Boyce, please, I would love to have some conversation with you, because truthfully, today when I was listening to Dr. Boyce Watkins, how ironic his last name is the same as my surname, but he had the gentleman on, as he normally does ever so often, and this, elderly gentleman said something that was very profound. He said, this is the year for us to get it together. And if we do not, as a group, as an entire culture, get it together in this year, we might as well forget about it. And we've had so many heinous things occur. So many. And cannot be understood, cannot be explained. And by all means and by all rights, we do have a right, because every single one of us is a citizen. If anybody tried to even consider something as idiotic as saying we're going to deport you, where are you going to deport me to? I was born right here in Trenton, New Jersey. You going to deport me to Trenton, New Jersey? I'm in Trenton, New Jersey. So this doesn't make any sense to me. There's no deportation. What there is a great atrocity of violence against people of color. And it is not only unacceptable, it cannot be allowable for the United States of America, that is supposed to be the greatest place to be. Well, ask any person of color, and they'll certainly tell you, not for me. But I'm telling you, and I abhor every single one of you to go back and take a look at the most recent post I put up. Besides, I just want to say part one. Take a look at the information that I put up, because I'm telling you, that young woman, and she's going back and she's explaining what happened to this African-American man and his girlfriend sleeping in bed. And this woman gets shot to death by police who mistakenly, you can't make any mistakes like that. You actually bum rushed this couple's home in the middle of the night to serve a warrant on a house that was not the one in which you entered. And then you shot and killed this woman. And you not only do not take you aren't even willing to say you're sorry, we did the wrong thing. This is what's bothering me about so many things that are going on in the lives of black folk. So I am so entirely serious when I say this, that we are at a state of emergency for people of color. Our brown skin, our lighter skin, we are in a state of emergency. And we have some people indeed that are starting to step up, because they're seeing it for themselves and they're getting tired, just like we are. So this is not to say that this is only a person of color issue. Oh, it's not. Because our Latin brothers and sisters and many of our other cultures are starting to feel the brunt of what men of color have been experiencing for centuries upon centuries. Our women, our children showing up missing. And recently, not just missing, but body parts are missing. How do you think the family of Kendrick Johnson from Valdosta, Georgia feels about their son being killed in school, in the gym, and his body sits for an entire night? And the school doesn't call the police, though they don't allow anybody into the gym, amazingly enough. But they do not call the police until, well, about 10 a.m. that morning. And then to find out when they do finally call you, because your son has been missing all night and you don't know where he is. When we do, we find out that his organs are missing, his clothes are missing, and the EMTs that they finally do call refuse to touch the body. Kendrick Johnson is detailed as the Emmett Till of today. I am more than appalled. I'm fighting mad. And I am not going to be quiet, and I am not going to be still. And I will rally and use my ability to generate and stir up as much interest and as much willing people to get involved. Because this is not only inhumane, it is just wrong. And I am a tax-paying, faithfully, hard-working, 20-something years in the educational system, not getting paid what I do, but willing to do because it is worth it for the lives of those to come up. It is unacceptable. And I cannot be quiet. And I'm hoping that some of you will get up off of your behinds and agree with me that we can no longer be silent. Our strength is in our power to move together. When I was teaching, I didn't have problems with administration because I knew where my power lied. It lied with my parents. So I got a solidarity with the parents of my kids. And they understood the strength that I carried. And they understood how much I cared for their kids. And they understood that I knew what they were stepping into when they get out of school and get into this real world as people, young people of color. And I didn't just teach African American kids. 85 to 90% of what I taught at that time was. But my Caucasian parents were just as pleased when they recognized that this teacher was giving quality education and their child came home excited and ready. We cannot be quiet. And we cannot just wait. And I'm telling you, I am more than tired. And I'm not tired enough to sit anymore and watch any of my sons or any of my family being heinously and disrespectfully just tossed away like their lives don't matter one bit. The McMichaels, I have to agree with Ahmaud's mom. Oh, you deserve the death penalty. And see, I'm a Christian woman, but I'm going to tell you right now, an eye for an eye will not leave everybody blind. And it's the backup that I have that covers me and makes sure that I still can see. I'm not happy. And I'm not going to act like I'm going to smile in your face and say I'm okay. I am not okay. Because anytime a young man can be gunned down while he's jogging means that our lives are in danger at any time, for any place, at anything. Did I say that right? We're in danger at any time, at any place, for anything. Therefore, we can no longer be quiet. So number 3, the third thing that I'm requesting at this time, and I mean this with everything in me, and trust me, what I'm getting ready to say, I know it's controversial for people of color. I understand that we've had over 400 years of brainwashing of the dozens and how to rally against each other and how to hate each other and how to, because perhaps my skin is lighter or I'm stronger or I'm better, I can be treated better by the master, and therefore I got to put you down so I can be up. Number 3, at this time, in this juncture, right now in 2020, May, whatever date this is, I don't even know. I'm on this pandemic, man. I'm telling you, I've lost my dates. It might be about the 15th or the 16th of May. Maybe not. Maybe a little earlier, maybe the 14th. But on this day, I am requesting that every single person of color, male, female, young person, child, put down your aggression. Put down your anger. Put down your violence against each other. We've got a much bigger cause that is most important. There is systematic genocide against people of color. And this is the necessary time that we no longer get sidetracked by thinking that we are in the dozens. We are no longer, and never have we ever been in the dozens if you look at our history. We've been nicely brainwashed to keep us against ourselves. It is time to wake up. Get vocal and active. And we cannot sit still. My next book is soon to come, because this is not acceptable. Once again, I ask that all of us put down our means of fighting against each other. We cannot get anything done for our entire culture. I've been saying for months, in fact for years, that I would love to see us go back to a way of life as the 1920s in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where people of color built a place for themselves. But we need protection. That's obvious. And we need to be smart about what we do. And we can't go into that fairy tale, because there's no fairy tale for us. Not here. We need to be prepared at all costs. Malcolm X was on it, for real. If you go back and listen to what that man said, I'm telling you, he was way above his time. And I do agree. Yeah, it needs to be by any means necessary. Now, mind you, I will combine Dr. King and Malcolm X together, because I do believe that prayer changes many things. But just as the Bible says that the kingdom of God suffers violence and the violent taketh by force, we are not going to just bend our knees and lower our head in prayer while you bashing me in my head and my brains are popping out. It's not acceptable. And I blow the trumpet today. And I'm looking for people to seriously respond. Please DM me. Any lawyer who gets wind of this Facebook and wants to contact me, please, by means, you can DM me. You can find me at malaesperanza@yahoo.com. I will welcome your phone call. It is past time for us to be for real. So number one, it's time for us to just get serious. Our mindset has to change. Our mindset really needs to change. Because we can't afford to keep losing our people and just saying, oh my God, that's so terrible. How is things going to change if we just sit back and keep saying, oh my God, that's just so terrible? Don't nobody want your pity. We want action. Number two, not only do we need action, but we truly, truly do need people to step in. I mean, from the legal system on. truthfully, there is no more time for us to just sit back and allow things to go as they have gone. And trust me, here, I'm not being racist. There are plenty of my Caucasian brothers and sisters that will join me, have been very vocal, and are just as tired as I am. We can live peaceably. I believe that 150%. Not only did I live among my Caucasian brothers and sisters, I went to school with them, and I had no problem. You know where my problem was? The judicial system. There needs to be, I got to skip to number 4, there needs to be a complete and utter washing and revamping of the judicial system. And I put it out there. If ain't nobody else going to put it out, I'm putting it out. If your family, or if there shows to be any kind of prejudice, or if your family a part of the KKK, why is Donald Trump president? His daddy was a part of the KKK. How do you represent the people in the United States? You cannot. You simply cannot. I want right treatment. And you don't have to give me respect. I demand it. And I tell you, we're going to get it. We're going to get the treatment that we deserve. There has been hundreds of years of free labor on the backs of African American people, my ancestors. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. We deserve far better than we have been given. And although there are some, I got to say, we need real education in our culture. We need to really do some hard work. Come on, Dr. Boyce. I would love to have this conversation with you. This is an open invitation. And I'm an extremely intellectual, intelligent woman. And I don't just have a voice. I can move a crowd. And we can get things going. God has a way of putting me in the right places. And I'm just saying, if I'm going to take the gifts that God has given me and I'm not going to use them the way I need to use them, I am being a disservice. Because I totally believe in Jesus Christ, and I saw what he did the 33 years he was upon this earth. And he rallied for those that were mistreated, downtrodden, and forgotten. Today is the day that I put my gamut down. And I'm not sitting in the judge's seat, but I got the gamut. We must actively move forward. And I'm not telling anybody what I would like for you to give me. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you. We're going to get what we deserve. And there's enough of us. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just saying, I've really had enough. And I've already put feelers out. I've already contacted a couple lawyers. And trust me, I'm not done. I'm not by far done. But just like, I think it was someone who said, man, you know what? That person needs protection. Let's not let things slip. Just like the young man who testified at Botham Jean's trial. Within a week, that young man had been ambushed and was dead. And I want to know where our people were. Why didn't he have the support necessary? Because, man, if that was my family, he is our family. And if we don't change our mindset of this us for and no more, and I just want to assimilate. You ain't never going to assimilate. Hello, are you with me? Are you with me? Let me turn it back around. You're never going to assimilate. Our skin is dark. People see us differently. Though we are no different. Well, you know, we're a lot more creative. And God has blessed us to do a lot of things. But it doesn't mean that other cultures can't be as creative, because they are. All I'm saying is I'm tired of you just looking at my skin color. Because I'm more than the color of my skin. Way more than that. And truthfully, while I'm here, I'm tired of black folk looking at the color of the skin and thinking differently. Let's be the change that we want to see, because that's what my plan is. I need to be the change that I want to see. I retired from school. I wrote my first 2 books. The 3rd book, I'm telling you, I've had battle from the first book, especially with the group of people who don't want the information out. Well, that's tough. It's coming out. And I can say names right now, although they're in the book. They're real. Those are real people. I play no games. So it's real. And I'm going to share the truth. And I will inform, so that every single one who picks up my book can make an informed decision, can understand whether they are being mistreated in America against your own people. Because that's how a lot of this is done. For those that are brazen enough to go out and do it on their own, like the McMichaels. But you got many that'll sit back and hire somebody that look just like me to do the job for them while they sit back and watch. If we do not band together and demand right treatment, I'm not saying fair, I'm saying right. That's our job. So, men of color, women of color, my Caucasian brothers and sisters, please join us. We need to be united. And really, this isn't supposed to be about skin color. It's really about proper treatment. It's really about respect. And it's really about tolerance. Because you don't have to like me, but I have my rights. And I can choose the house, if I can afford the house next door to you. It ain't got nothing to do with you. I'm not coming into your house. I'm going into my house. And somehow in this, this juncture, 2020, not only do we need to learn how to live together, we just need to learn how to mind our own business. I got to go back to that gentleman. I still look out. I looked for him. I found his name is on the right hand corner of his video, and I really wanted to. I just really wanted to talk to him and just tell him, by far, he was a bit vulgar. And some of us don't, do that, cursing. But I understand. If you get mad enough, you're gonna start cursing. Well, just go back and look at the Steve Harvey Morning Show. Okay? He just had a preacher on there, and that preacher, after a while, he lost his mind and started cursing. And then had to collect himself like, brother, hold on a minute, brother. Hold on a minute. All right, so don't act like, we don't curse. Don't act like we can't be human. We're all human. And for the idiots that want to act like they're perfect, please go sit down. And until you can get a dose of reality and understand that you're human, stay down. Because we're all human. And quite frankly, I think, especially with Ahmaud Arbery's murder, we're all tired and have seen enough. And I don't know what's going on down there in them southern states. But you know what? It's past time for that to change. It's past time for people to at least learn to live and respect life more than death. Some of you don't care because it ain't you. But we're not going to have real change until we start caring, because it could be you. And if it happens to one of us, it is. I just feel some kind of way right now. Because I feel like there's so much more hate in this world than there is love. And we've taken such a bad section. I think one of my friends on Facebook wrote, she said, I'm getting such a bad attitude, with this pandemic and all this time in the house. I'm just, get out, take a drive. Ever so often, every couple days or so, I got to take a drive. I'm not interacting with nobody. I got my windows up until I'm out, on my own, just chilling. Because this thing ain't airborne. That's why you don't see I don't have a mask on. I'm breathing this air. It's not airborne. This coronavirus is not airborne. So you wear your mask when you're around people because you don't need them breathing and coughing and snotting and sneezing all over you, and you might get what they might have. But the one thing it's not is airborne. But then don't folk go crazy. As soon as they open the parks, everybody was flooding the park. Now what makes you think I'm going to go to the park? This ain't the time to do that. Because everybody and their grandma going to be out there all stuffed together, and I bet you it's enough numbers of folk who got the coronavirus right now from being out there in the park. We got to have common sense. That's what I mean. Those, and I got to go back here. There's a couple. I still can't remember. I need somebody to help me out because I got to go back to probably like the 1980s. There was a group that wore the red berets, and they did patrolling in New York at night. Because people of color were being so attacked that they felt they couldn't trust the police. Come on, we're there. We're right there. We know we can't trust the police. We done seen enough. Go back and just scroll back on my timeline. And you will see goo-gobs upon goo-gobs of videos and stories that you can read where we know we can't trust the police. And I have officers that are friends. I can trust them. I think, and I believe, but I've seen far too many. My hat goes off to the gentleman. I think he looked like he was SWAT, that really came forward and just said, basically this stuff has got to stop. And I'm talking to the officers I work with. I'm talking to the officers, holistically. This has got to stop. And he broke it down basically by law. Come on, we got a lot on the line, and if we don't band together, we are surely going to fall apart. And I see us falling apart, and I'm not willing to just let that happen. So join me, DM me. I'm coming back, and I'm coming back strong, and I just might have to have a couple people online with me for this one. It's coming, but it's very much so time. So as you think about the day, please don't forget to say a prayer for, our families who are really going through it. The arteries, indeed. There are a couple others, indeed. Our southern states are jacked up. Their mentality and their inability to accept people for who they are is just jacked up. And it can't stay that way. It just can't. We can't survive that way. I've said it clear. I've said it plain to a couple people that love to try to put down threats, that think they're going to put fear in me. You're not putting any fear in me by saying that, I should get shot or anything else. You're not putting any fear in me. I serve a very real, true, and living God. So the one thing you're not doing is putting fear in me. And I could call names, but those of you that read my books already know the names. So I say it just this simple. This really simple. You bleed just like I do, and you can die just like I do. The only difference is that I walk with God. So this cannot be what we accept. This cannot be our way of life. This is not my way of life. But I come to you as someone who knows what it feels like. Now let me break it down to you so it can be forever and consistently broke. Isaiah Washington, Love Jones. My brother was killed by a police officer in Hamilton Township. They tried to cover it up. But here comes the generational curse. Because I'd say about 20-something years, is it 20? I was at 14, take that back. More like 8 or 9 years later. And then add, 27, yeah, my math was getting right. About 27, 28 years later, my son is killed by a family of Caucasians who decided that his life didn't matter more than the money he would be worth. And there was no thought of trying to divide that money. It had nothing to do with that. Because anybody that would sit back and say, well, we could get $750,000. All he has to do is sign the insurance papers after y'all get married. And a week after they married, my son was dead. See, you can be as covert as you want, or you can be as blatant as you want, the McMichaels. But either way, we're dealing with the same mentality. I call it white supremacy. We're coming against that with the idea that people of color are not pieces of trash that you throw away whenever you feel like it. And solely because it is on the backs of our ancestors that this world was made. The very things that you enjoy. It was on the backs of our ancestors. You owe us. Oh, you definitely do. And see, the amazing thing about, people of color is that even in the midst of what we know is owed, we still want to just love. We still want to have peace. We still want to just live. I'm here and I'm standing, and there are more of me, and I know it. We need to unite. We need to be vocal, and we need to be active. And I can't do this without you, and you can't do this without me. But I know full well that I am more than tired, but I'm not tired enough to sit back and wait for the next one. I'm not tired enough for that. I'm tired beyond that. Which means I don't even want to see that. And I can feel it in the air. I can feel it. So this is what I'm saying. And this is what I want to say. People of color can no longer sit back and just watch this happen. You know I love you, or I would not be here. I'd be somewhere in the house sitting in the chair doing my own thing. I stand for everyone because we are one. And somebody didn't get the memo. Many didn't get the memo. So they sitting back thinking they're the only one. It's time we serve notice that we stand together and we will not fall. Have a blessed day. Be well. Look out for each other. And we can make strides immeasurable. See you later.